Alright, so the third game is gonna be yet again on Savannah. Really seems to be quite favorite map for them. The same gods there. Number 2. And let's see if Magyar this time is gonna be successful in beating Spoink, or if Spoink is gonna be claiming total supremacy with his ISIS against Magyar's Ra. Also kinda interesting that since we have seen in the first 2 games that actually Magyar didn't do that well, that he's not afraid to actually pose his losses. That's something that is not that easy to find in current community. It's usually kinda ego posts. That's how it goes. But there are plenty of actual losses being posted as well, so it's not really anything that glaring, but the difference is there. There are some examples that you could be actually naming, but yeah, we won't because everybody knows who we are talking about. But it's nice to see that a player of the quality of Magyar, who is right now playing League of Legends at the toppest level, is humble enough to be recognizing that some games, even if he loses them, are well executed by the opponent and are worthwhile to actually post. And apparently Baba Joe is gonna be kept yeah, it's the best name of the Pharaoh. Gonna be picking up the relic, which is for what? We will have to actually wait once he drops it. As of course Magyar is right now switching off into a bit different gameplay because he's actually scouting. This is the first game of the 3 that he's scouting. In the first 2 he just wasn't at all, just didn't give a single damn. But right now he is, and it might be giving him some better idea about how the map is. You can see he's already discovered the gold mine, so he probably knows where to go. He's also going for the rhino, and he's having hunting dogs. This is also the first time. In the previous 2 games he was going for husbandry, not bothering with the hunt, because he didn't see it as well. That was one of the reasons. And the Pharaoh, well, right now not doing anything all that much, but otherwise he's having at least one of the zebras in there as on the right. Let's just cheat a bit. That's gonna be just gonna be one of those TCs and Skopos. No, these are normal games. These were just normal ladder games between basically top players in the ladder back then in 2009. So no finals or anything, just normal games, but they are still quite high level, and you can definitely see both players playing to their full potential as much as they can. No, the OV2 championship is already finished. That was already streamed an hour ago. But let's go back to this match on our hand, that we are seeing that there are gonna be a few extra gazelles to be had for Magyar that he has discovered, so he has somewhere to move from the rhino. So he can move there quite soon, as otherwise he doesn't have all that much of a food as I've seen that. Yeah, he's having some berries at the top, some extra rhinos, but apparently this is gonna be without giraffes. Yeah, this seems like a savannah without giraffes actually. It's gonna be that. Otherwise, of course, at the bottom we are looking at Spoink, who is having extra zebras, which is something that we don't see from Magyar. Let's switch into his point of view. He is seeing so far just that. That's already quite far away from him. He should be having the hunting dogs. Yes. He is having that, but otherwise he has seen the rhinos in the middle, so that's probably the next stop for him. Probably the next spot that he's gonna be interested in, and otherwise something fairly standard. So far, nothing all that unusual. You can see Temple now at 3 minutes. Seems to be everything going quite fine. Let's just basically switch into Magyar, because it's quite more interesting to watch him, as he's playing something different than he did in the first game. You can see that even the monument is right now gonna be coming up quite a lot later. In the first 2 games, he was basically building it as the very first thing. So yeah, different strategy for him overall, going quite heavily on the foot with the hunting dogs and whatnot. And what is this relic? I just cannot look at it, unfortunately. Just gonna have to wait until he deposits it into the temple. As he's coming for the chickens, and well, plenty of villagers still on the food. So having still just a bit of on gold. This is actually interesting, he's having so few on gold. This is gonna be something really different. You can see how much he's actually pushing on the food at this point. Very much so, and in the meantime, as we are looking at that, let's just, for example, gauge the position of the TCs and of the gold mines overall. So the back TC, we have already seen that for Magyar. For Spoink, it's... well, it's kind of slightly worse. It's not really in the corner, hidden behind the forest or whatever, but it's not really bad either. It's still fairly defensive TC for an Egyptian. He's gonna be alright, happy about that, I'm thinking. Whereas the gold mines, as we are on Savannah, Yeah, they're gonna be apparently all in the middle. No extra gold mine behind the back, as it was for Spoink in the previous game. But this one is also not half bad. This is actually a very good position, considering there's a TC right next to it. It's actually very good for him. This is something that he might be happy about. But a bit later, maybe he could be even developing forward into this gold mine, and maybe even the one in the middle, because this is kind of where he should be coming, especially since he's gonna be having villagers right next to this spot for a very long time, because 4 rhinos are gonna be taking quite some time to actually gather from. Well, there is another gold mine nearby, and it seems that Spoink's map control is yet again gonna be a whole lot better, as apparently Magyar gave up on the scouting yet again. He has seen everything that he needs to see inside his base, going for the goats with husbandry already, and he's having actually right now switch. First 2 games he went for bust, right now he's gonna be coming for ptach. Alright, so really going into absolutely something different. So ptach here. For Spoink we're looking at bust. Well, yeah, of course, what else would ISIS be going for? Not much of a surprise here, as he is scouting as much as he can with all the priests, trying to drop obelisks absolutely everywhere so that he sees basically the whole map, and he already sees quite plenty at this point. We'll go 4 off, so that we have a better overview of what's going on everywhere. Apparently you can see Baba Joe from Spoink is putting a lot of pressure and attention to all the food in here, not even having the Pharaoh right next to the gold mine for the prosperity. That's gonna be probably for the 2nd time today, maybe even for the 3rd time. I haven't actually noticed in the first game. I'm thinking that he's not gonna be empowering the gold gathering during prosperity. And Magyar, interestingly enough, is not even coming for the farms yet. He's not coming for the farms yet. So he has no reason to use the rain, other than to, for example, block the prosperity from his opponent, which could be happening as armor is coming up. And with Tach at 620, it's gonna be advanced into Heroic Age about 8 minutes, which is okay for Ara. What's gonna be following up? Are there some extra upgrades already there? Yeah, Hendax, Pickaxe, and the whole lineup that he can be getting. For red player, are we looking at what? Everything just Hendax so far missing for Spoink. Okay. Hendax missing, but he doesn't really need it all that much. He's probably gonna be needing it a bit later once he upgrades, because of all the chariot archers that he's gonna be hoping to make, of course, through the Migral. As of course the armor is there, but he doesn't really need to hurry all that much. You can see this is just a waste of time in there. Just didn't need to do that all that much, because he doesn't have the food for the advance and even the gold. So he could just basically left it at 1 villager and get the gold in the meantime, as well Monumental Soldiers is being used here, as of course it means a bit of protection for all of those villages, protection against shifting sands through the extra god power, or the god power, well, power of the god of Isis, of preventing the god powers, of course. So rain is going down, which is gonna be of course helping him with the farms, and subsequently also blocking the prosperity for the Isis. So yeah, he's not gonna be that happy about that, because he's just now clicking into Nephthys, and this is the point where he would be very much liking to cast the prosperity, but cannot. That's always gonna be tricky for Isis against Sarah, as the prosperity is just most of the time is gonna be blocked if the Ra player is knowing what he's doing. And with the plow in here, does he have... Yeah, he does have Shaduf. He does have Shaduf in here, and that means that he's well and ready for the Heroic Age, and maybe even something a bit different, because so far we see fairly standard gameplay from him, but maybe he's gonna be surprising us a bit later. Magyar... Oh, Sekhmet. Really? Okay, so this is gonna be Sekhmet, not Hathor. We may be thinking that Hathor would be interesting choice for him, but apparently it's gonna be Sekhmet, as he's already working on a bit of wall, and you can see through the houses, basically trying to protect the gold mine, which is still gonna be here for a moment, but then the next gold mine is very far away. You can see it's basically either this one in the middle of the map or this one. Can see Spoink just basically making sure that, yes, I want to see what's happening with this gold. I really do. Those 3 obelisks. Kind of overdoing it, but yeah, I kinda guess why not, as prosperity is just now cast quite a bit later at 840, which is resulting into Spoink having no gold whatsoever once he gets Heroic Age and builds a Migral. Yep, the Migral is coming up right next to the gold mine, which is of course good position for him. Otherwise there's still gold at the bottom that might be contended a bit later if he doesn't scout, or rather if he doesn't protect it properly. But so far he's gonna be happy with the one in the middle, as segment is in at 9 minutes. And well, Magyar, or rather Spoink, is gonna be switching into fairly standard gameplay that we have seen in the first two games, with chariot archers and maybe one elephant, one camel in there. But so far, yeah, you can see right now just being clicked. One odd elephant, one odd camel, and already quite heavy defenses though by Magyar. And oh, it's a fast mythic. It's a very fast mythic from him. You can see he's already having the food, having problems with the gold. But finishing with the market exactly on time. Well, that was one hell of a timing. Have you seen that? That was absolutely second perfect. Absolutely second perfect in here. That was nicely done by Magyar. Oh well. Well done indeed. So Osiris already coming in. That's gonna be advanced at about 10:30. That is gonna be fairly huge surprise, of course, for Spoink, because in the first games he didn't see anything like that. And since he could be expecting Magyar to be still defensive, right now he probably has to be wondering what the hell is going on. It's probably gonna be something different, he's thinking. Especially seeing the wall, he should be realizing that this is basically heavy defense. A heavy defense overall. Spoink is apparently even house. He should be producing a few more houses, yeah. He is right now inside his base. But apparently he was just basically scouting around, trying to encounter where the enemy army is gonna be. But there's no army to be had. There is gonna be a mythical age to be had. Very soon indeed. With the Migdol coming up. Next to the gold mine. But what is actually he gonna do? Because he's running out of gold. He's having Migdol. That's sweet. But he doesn't have any resources whatsoever. So what's gonna happen? He somehow needs to get either of those 3 gold mines. And I'm thinking that the one at the top is the best, because it's also giving away to settlement. But of course right now the siege tower coming forward is always gonna be an issue, and this is gonna be switched into lumber camp. And maybe I'm kinda thinking that actually Magyar might be trying to survive on selling wood. Oh, Task of the Iron Ball, better cavalry and chariot archer hit points actually. This is a very good relic then that Magyar was having in here. As Spoink is of course right now gonna be casting his ancestors, and it's gonna be one hell of a push at this point. One hell of a push into Magyar. Let's see if Magyar can actually survive this in some kind of normal manner, because yet again he doesn't have gold. Right now he has to resort to basically selling. He has to be selling resources altogether and hoping that he can somehow survive this. Maybe even some mercenaries coming up. Not entirely certain. But all those siege coming forward. All those siege coming forward. They are so ready to punish the fast mythic. They are so ready to actually do that. And unfortunately you could have seen that he cannot even cast the Son of Osiris, Magyar. That's how actually he was kinda caught off guard, it seems like, by the attack by the ancestors with their clips. But does he have even a pharaoh then? Because I'm not entirely certain that he has even the pharaoh alive. Maybe he even lost him, which is also part of the reason why he couldn't cast. Yeah, I don't see the pharaoh, so the pharaoh has to be dead. Has to be dead. And right now he is there, hidden. Okay, so he's hidden in there. Maybe he was just respawned, not entirely certain. But the attack is definitely pretty strong. The TC is on the verge of being killed, and right now this is gonna be Son of Osiris first, and then it's gonna be Citadel. Come on, or not even. Maybe he doesn't even want to cast it yet. Oh well, that's one hell of a defense then, because he kind of thinks that he cannot defend against Son of Osiris. He's just gonna be absolutely wrecking all of those siege towers. But that was damn close. That was damn close. The TC saved basically at the full strength. At full strength, as of course right now the Citadel is gonna be cast, as it's gonna be extra boost to the hit points, which is exactly needed, and it's gonna be extra population limit that could be used. But yet again, the gold problem still not solved for Magyar, and you can see he's at 0, selling absolutely everything that he can extra, so that he can produce even a few more extra units like the chariot archers. Whereas the army from Spoink is definitely growing dangerous. Definitely growing very dangerous, as Spoink is at 2nd TC already. How's it looking with some upgrades? Baseline with shaft mine. We probably won't see all that many from Magyar. Yeah, baseline just still there. Just still there, and we are looking at the Son of Osiris. Still kinda intently wanted to drop there somewhere, and he should be building the temple, but he doesn't have the gold. The temple costs gold, and unfortunately they're gonna spare it all that much. But looking at how he's giving the relic, is giving extra hit points, 10% hit points to chariot archers and cavalry. It would actually go a long way to helping him in the battle. Okay, apparently Spoink is thinking that he cannot really push forward at this point. So it seems that Magyar is gonna be getting a bit of luck at this point, that he can be on this gold, really. That's a bit interesting, because it's not a goal that he would be really controlling all that much. Let's just switch into Magyar in here for the moment. I'm kind of expecting 15 cents in some kind of time, in some kind of early time. Because it could be helping him basically control the situation a whole lot better. Son of Osiris needs to be careful, as he's easily picked off by all the chariot archers. So yeah, that is potentially an issue for him, but he is very strong, of course, at this point. And the Sphinx might be helping as well, because if all of those chariot archers can single out those priests, those mythical units could be helping, but this was actually red. I was thinking that it was actually Magyar's, and it wasn't. It was Spoink's. And in that case, it's not such a good idea against Son of Osiris, of course. As he's gonna be wrecking any mythical units in here, but they're still coming in there, because Spoink probably thinks, gonna guess, why not? But the gold is, of course, a problem for Magyar. He's just basically producing only food and wood, so that he can sell it and build at least a few extra units. But he needs to do something about the gold sooner rather than later, and this one could be his. Yeah, his opponent would know that is in there, but it could be also helping him kind of divide the attention of his opponent, and that usually leads to mistakes.
Into you.
So far, basically, the advantage, the sole advantage of the Mythical Age is only the Son of Osiris. That's the only advantage that Magyar is having from that. So as long as Son of Osiris is alive, he could be thinking that it was a good idea, but as soon as he dies, and he doesn't have any kind of significant advantage, then he could be disappointed by what's going on. But so far, it seems that really, Son of Osiris is definitely pulling his weight. He's definitely pulling his weight, as he's making it kind of impossible for Spoink to push forward. So basically dealing damage to 4 units at once, and pretty big damage, 60 damage, that's a huge deal. Right now, together with all of those chariot archer hit points that he's having, and the hit points that they're actually taking from the opponent as well, that is an issue that Spoink is having very big problems dealing with. You can see he's at 3 TCs, his economy might be growing, but his game is not going anywhere good. Let's see, 45 TC, how's it looking with his economical upgrades? Still the same. It's gonna be the same for Magyar, right? Yeah, still the same baseline of upgrades, bit of an idle in here, but nothing all that major. But he has been able to actually get a mining camp, and even Son of Osiris is gonna be empowering in the free time. Yeah, he's not gonna be loafing around. Not gonna be loafing around all that much, but he is getting quite a good army, and with this gold actually, Magyar might be having some kind of chance to actually push forward, because that might be changing the momentum quite significantly, because god powers are more or less gone. Then entirely certain what he's gonna be using the shifting sense for. It could be some kind of saving god power, but I would be liking it on some kind of big engagement, like his pop limit against maybe some kind of pop limit of Spoink, and sending at least a bit of the army away could really be turning the momentum in that one engagement. Well, some Gamos, they're gonna be definitely helping with the siege tower in here. With the siege tower, and I'm still kinda confused why he isn't even trying to get on this gold mine. It seems such an obvious play, to be honest, to send at least a few villages in there, so that he's gathering somewhere else, but maybe he's just confident that he can actually do something in this position. And so far it seems to be working, and he's definitely keeping the Son of Osiris alive for a very long time. So this is one hell of a micro by him. He's keeping him alive for about 7 minutes already, and that's a pretty long time for him to be alive, especially considering that the enemy is having so many chariot archers. Yeah, this is exactly what we've seen in the first game. You don't need to kill the villagers. All you need to do is get rid of the mining camp, and their mining is gone. This is... I really love this little play. This is something you don't see at all nowadays. Such a clever little thing. Basically thinking about the consequences of things and of actions. But you can see how basically this is putting Magyar off the kilt, even without killing the villagers. Just kill the mining camp and you're done with that. So Son of Osiris is still kinda alive-ish, but he's getting lower on hit points. So it's time for basically Magyar to get some kind of significant advantage. He's still on the baseline with the villagers. How's he looking for Spoink? Is he getting the economy in there? Well, no, he really isn't. But Magyar is definitely getting his feet under himself, and he's definitely right now pushing forward. Still, there are plenty of gold mines for Spoink to be using. He's right now moving all the villages to the left side. He's though not advancing into Mythical Age. He's even nowhere nearby to be in pop limit, which is kind of unusual situation for him in this match, it seems like. As the siegeworks coming up, they are gonna be game changer as well, because this is not gonna be siege towers, but catapults. He's in the Mythical Age, and that might be what actually is gonna be an kinda insurmountable problem for Spoink. Because with just chariot archers, it's gonna be very hard to protect that, or rather prevent that, as the catapults could be coming from about here, all the way on the TC. And with the temple being built here, finally he can deposit the relic for the better hit points for the cavalry and the chariot archers. They're gonna be even deadlier, this kind of army that he's having. He doesn't have any kind of extra upgrades, but I'm thinking that Spoink might be in the same situation as he is. Not having anything extra at all, and this army is really getting quite good, especially since he has been able to capture the back TC for himself. Okay, the front TC is kinda open still, as market is being built by Spoink for basically trade route from this position all the way to the TC. Well, could have gone all the way in there, but he didn't want to because of the gold. He wants to control the gold mine, wants to have some kind of good line of sight on it. As the catapult is in, and here we go, Scarab. Here we go, Scarabs are gonna be making an appearance, and I would be expecting maybe even more than one, as one could be clicked just now. You can see that, of course, he's having plenty of favor in here. There should be enough, yeah, 20 favor and 300 foot. That is gonna be yet another problem for Spoink, because he doesn't have the priests anymore. He did have them at the start, but he doesn't have them now, as this Scarab unfortunately is gonna be dying fairly soon. But the mercenaries are coming in, and they are good counter unit to the Chemos, but not a good counter unit to Son of Osiris. And I just cannot repeat it enough. Keeping him alive already for 10 minutes as basically the only advantage until those catapults came in just basically a few seconds ago, as the only reason to go mythic and basically keep him in the game. It's one hell of an effort. One hell of an effort by Magyar, and you can see how much of a difference this one dude is making, and that even faster mythic could be that important in the game. So this is the MVP right here, shooting through his lightning staff. Okay, another Scarab is coming in there with all the catapults basically deleting. That was the siege works. They are gonna be attempting to delete the Migdol stronghold as well, and this might be a bit of a problem because I think this is the only Migdol. Yes, it is. You can see Spoink doesn't have even second Migdol, and once this one is gone, then it's gonna be all about the mercenaries, and with of course the Scarab. Yeah, he doesn't need to be worried about anything at all. 75% pierce armor and 670 hit points. Kinda, why not? He's pushing ever forward as Spoink is not going mythic at all. And even though he's having nice population limit because he has taken the TC in there at the top, he's resigning because it's not doing anything at all for him. It's not doing anything at all for him. And this dude won the game for Magyar, or basically Magyar won it through him. Through proper micro. He's almost dying, but still, he stayed for 11 minutes since he advanced into the fast mythic about 10 minutes. 10 minutes 20 or 10 minutes 15, something like that. And he was the only reason to go for the fast mythic and why he's actually winning. Well, that was a big surprise for Spoink, but he was like, I don't know, centimeters from actually winning and killing the TC of Spoink, or rather of Magyar, in the very strong push. Once he was actually advancing into Mythic, and he couldn't even cast the Son of Osiris before the Eclipse was cast. And yeah. Quite close for Magyar, but in the end it paid off for him through proper control of this one guy. And it was all it took to beat Spoink, or all it took. It wasn't all that easy, of course. And he's gonna be putting at least one on the board. And the little match of those 3 games is gonna be ending 2-1 for Spoink, but Magyar didn't let it go into sweep. So let's go into the post game. Yes, Swiss boy, these games were played on October 2009, so basically 8.5 years ago. Very old, and it was the time when Spoink was one of the toppest experts in Age of Mythology, and especially Vanilla back then, and Magyar was also in a pretty good shape then. See Spoink still winning on the total score, and on the economy, of course, that's not much of a surprise. He was having all the TCs, but not even all those teams, all those TCs, and all that economy is helping him enough that he could overcome the Mythic Age from Magyar. You can see he's still having 7 and 4, about 11,000 more resources than Magyar, but this time it didn't do him any good at all. And Magyar wasn't even toppest on the civilian unit. Interestingly, and you can see the efficiency. This is all due to Son of Osiris, how strong he is. Such an efficiency, 60 into 107 kill, and 135 into 49 killed for Spoink. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, that's exactly what we have seen. Exactly what we have seen here. Didn't even notice the Scorpion Men in there in all that much. That's probably because they died in like no time to Son of Osiris, I'm thinking. I really even don't remember seeing them there. Maybe one. But definitely not 4. Yeah, such a huge advantage in economy and absolutely nothing out of it. And the military, yet again, that was the hallmark of the previous games as well. Quite close by. This was because of the Ancestors and the strong push on the base of Magyar, which he somehow survived. And from there, it just wasn't going all that well for Spoink. Or rather, it wasn't going that bad. He still had pretty good chances. It was all up to Magyar to basically make a mistake and lose the game. But he didn't make it. He just didn't make the mistake. And that's why he prevailed. Well, GG.